everyone, you're watching Explore to Shine with Anu.
Before proceeding to the video, please take a moment to subscribe to my channel if you have not yet done, and also hit the notification bell so you will be notified when we upload a new video. With no further delay, let's quickly dive into this video.
Hello everyone, this is the second session of Introduction to Computer Graphics. The content of this video will be, so first we are going to see the fundamental components for publishing, parts of letter, types of fonts, color scheme and color separation. So let's move on to the first topic of today, that is fundamental components for publishing. When the publication is ready, it is important to make the right selection of its fundamental components. So what are the fundamental components? We have the printing house, paper quality, right colors, fonts, font style and font size. Printing house. Be careful in selecting the printing house. So first, find the quality and size of the paper which the printing house uses, and also find the type of printer the printing house generally uses. It is also very important to know that the printing house is able to print more copies if there is a need. And once we decide a particular printing house, then provide the required documents for your publication, like your text and images can be provided to create your document. So when you are selecting your printing house, so first find the quality and size of the paper they are using for publishing and the type of printer they are using, and you also should find out whether the printing house is able to print more copies if there is a need. I hope you got it. So next comes the paper quality. The quality of the paper is determined by its color, weight and texture. So here the subject plays a very important role in selecting the paper quality. So as we know, the paper comes in various standard sizes and thickness. So make sure printing is done on standard paper size to save the cost of cutting charges. So as far as paper quality is concerned, first the subject plays an important role. What is the purpose of the document? That plays an important role in selecting the paper quality. Then always see that the printing is done on the standard paper sizes to save the cost of cutting charges. So next, coming for colors. So colors also plays a very important role in preparing your publication because it makes your document impressive. It enhances the document. It is used to highlight the portion of text. It enhances the readability of the text, and colors that appear on monitor is liable to appear different in print. That is, the color that appear on monitor is likely to be different when it is being printed. Fonts. Selecting the right font is a major factor that decides what impression a publication makes. So font is nothing but the set of all characters in certain style. So characters can be anything. It can be alphabets, numbers or symbols. So it is a style given for all the characters. It's nothing but you say it is font. So what is font type? Type is nothing but font plus font style and size is called as type, and these fonts are classified into vector fonts and bitmap fonts. So let us see the difference between bitmap fonts and vector fonts. So first, coming for bitmap fonts, your bitmap fonts are made up of pixels, that is dots, whereas your vector fonts are made up of lines and curves. The file that stores bitmap files, there are bitmap tables that stores bitmap images of various letters. So whenever you want to store your bitmap fonts, the file that stores a bitmap font will contain a table, and that table consists of two columns. One column consists of ASCII number for the letter, and second column consists of the bitmap image of those letter. Got it? And whereas in vector fonts, the file that stores vector fonts, mathematical equations of various letters are stored. So in bitmap fonts, it contains tables, whereas in vector fonts, the file will contain the mathematical equations of various letters. And using this equation, the computer generates the images of characters. So when the print command is given to print bitmap fonts, the computer sends the bitmap table to the printer, and that is stored in the RAM of the printer. Then the computer sends the ASCII code number for characters to be printed one by one. So bitmap tables of very commonly used fonts are stored in the printers of ROM. But if the bitmap table is not available in ROM, then the printer uses a bitmap table sent by the computer, and which will be placed in the printer's RAM. So did you understand this point? That is, whenever you are going to give print command to print bitmap fonts, the computer sends the bitmap table to the printer, and that will be stored in the RAM of the printer. So bitmap table of very commonly used fonts will be already stored in the printer's ROM. But if the bitmap table is not available in ROM, then the printer uses the bitmap table sent by the computer. And in case of vector font, when you are printing text using vector fonts, the computer does not send character by character. Instead, the computer sends the image of whole page at a time. Here we have a page description language that comes with printer, and it ensures that the image of page sent to the printer is printed correctly. And this language translates the mathematical equations of vector fonts into instructions that tells the printer how to print. If the printer does not have the page description language, then Windows Printer Driver executes this task. So the most popular page description language in the publishing world is Adobe PostScript. So Adobe PostScript is the most popular page description language. What is this page description language? So this is a software that comes along with the printer to ensure that the image of the page sent to the printer is being printed correctly. The most popular page description language is Adobe's PostScript. So when the printer includes the page description language, PostScript is called as PostScript printer. So if the printer is having the Adobe PostScript as a page description language, then it is called as PostScript printer. So another page description language is printer control language, and it is also very popular, and it is loaded in HP printers. The language adaptation of the page description language is a page description markup language. That is, the language used to develop this page description language is page description markup language. So we have many other page description languages, and some examples are AFP, that is Advanced Function Presentation, CPCL, Comptek Printer Control Language. We have DPL, Datamax Printer Language, and PCL, Printer Command Languages. So next, coming for font style. So we know the various font styles are normal, bold, italic, underline, strike through, and reverse. So all these are the styles given for the font. As we know, font is nothing but the styles given to the characters is called as font. Font styles, it enhances the font. Like we have different styles like normal, bold, which makes your text darker, italic, which makes your text slanted, and underline. If you need a line below the text, then you say it is underlined. Strike through a line through the text and reverse. It reverses the color of the font here. So font size. So this refers to the size of letters used for printing. So different font size has to be selected for running text, the headings and subheading. So we cannot have the same font size throughout your document. So select appropriate font size for the heading, then for the subheading and for the running text. The unit for measuring font size is points, and 72 points is equal to 1 inch. So font size is selected depending upon the importance of the message and the availability of the space. So next, moving on to parts of letter. So what are the parts of letter? So first, let's see what is a baseline. So baseline is an imaginary line on which the letters are presumed to be standing. So what is baseline? It's just an imaginary line on which the letters are assumed to be standing. So next, what is X height? X height is the height of the main body of the letter when it is in lowercase. When the letters are in lowercase, the main height of the letter is called as X height. And what is cap height? It is the height of the main body of the letter when it is in uppercase. Ascender. So what is ascender? It is a part of letter that extends above the X height of the letter which is in lowercase. We know what is X height. X height is the height of the main body of the letter when it is in lowercase. Say, suppose I want to know what is the height of this M. The height of M-A-I-N. This is called as X height. When it is in lowercase, the main height of this letters are called as X height. And what is ascender? The part of letter that extends above this X height. Say suppose when you consider this B, you have a portion above this X height. That is called as ascender. So part of letter that extends above the X height when the letter is in lowercase is called as ascender. And what is descender? It is a part of letter that extends below the baseline when the letter is in lowercase. Like we have part P. P is an example. Then we have Q, G, Y. So all these are examples of descender. When you have a portion that is extended below the baseline of the letter, like in P, Q, G, Y, all these are called as descender. Next, bold. What is bold? The space found within some letters. So you have some space within the letters, like you have space in A, B, D, O, P, Q and R. So that space inside that particular letter is called as bold. Next, serif. What is serif? Short cross strokes at the top and bottom ends of the letter is called as serif. So next, coming for types of font. So first we have the serif font. So these fonts use letters with cross strokes at the top and bottom ends. So if you observe in this text, we have some strokes given at the edges of the letters. So these strokes are called as serif fonts. If the font has these strokes, then it is called as serif fonts. These fonts are letters with cross strokes at the top and bottom ends is called as serif fonts. So example of serif fonts we have Times New Roman, Bookman Old Style, Century School Book. Next, coming for sans serif fonts. These fonts do not use cross strokes. So example, Arial, Century Gothic, Comic Sans MS, Lucida Console. Coming for ornamental fonts, so usually used for headings or cover design of catalogs, text, which is used in greeting cards and invitation, and these fonts are used for decorative purpose and it is usually avoided for lengthy text. The next type of font is the font that is being used for paragraph or general text. So usually for lengthy documents which have text running into a number of pages, we use fonts which are easy to read and take up less space. The next type of font is dingbats. These are certain ready-made symbols that can be used in the document for ornamental purpose or as bullets. They can also be combined to make logos. Dingbats can be made available by selecting certain font styles and then pressing the alphabet key in the keyboard. Example, Webdings, Wingdings, Bookshelf symbol 7. So all these are examples of dingbats fonts. So next see, what is color. Color is an element of art that is produced when light striking an object is reflected back to the eye. So how do we see an object? When some light falls on the object scatters that light and this scattered light enters our eyes and that is how we see that object. Usually sunlight is white light, which is a mixture of base colors like red, blue, green, yellow and violet. When a beam of white light falls on the red colored object, only the red light is scattered by that object and the other colors are simply observed. This is how we see that the object is red in color. So as we know, the sunlight is white light and this is a mixture of all colors. When a beam of this white light falls on the red color object, then only the red light is scattered by that object and other colors are simply observed by it, and that's how we see that the object is red in color. So next, when the beam of white light falls on a white object, all the colors are scattered by the object and no color is observed, and that is how you see a white object. When a beam of white light falls on a black object, no light is scattered by the object. That is, all colors are simply observed by the object. There are three properties to colors: hue, intensity and value. So what is hue? It is nothing but the name given to a color. It is simply means the name given to a color like red, blue, green, yellow. So that is nothing but hue. The name of the color is nothing but you say it is hue. Intensity. Intensity refers to the vividness of the color. Brightness of the color is nothing but you say it is intensity. And value refers to light or dark color. The term shade and tint refers to value change in colors. But in printing, shades are created by adding black to a color. So how the shades are created in printing? By adding black to a color, and tints are created by adding white to a color. Where a chroma refers to ratio of gray to the color it is mixed with. So here we saw the properties of color: hue, intensity and value. Hue is nothing but the name given to a color. Intensity is nothing but brightness of the color, and value is nothing but lightness or darkness of that particular color. So in printing, shade is nothing but it is being created by adding black to a color, and tints are created by adding white to a color, and chroma is nothing ratio of the gray to the color it is mixed with. So adding of gray to a color, it's called as chroma. So primary colors we have red, blue and yellow. What is secondary color? Mixture of two colors like green, purple, orange. All these are called as secondary color. When two colors are mixed together and you get a color, these colors are called as secondary color. And tertiary color is a result of mixing three colors together. So what is harmony? Harmony is created when colors close to each other in the color wheel are used together. So harmony is easy on the eye and can be used to create a relaxed and elegant ambience. So what is harmony? So in this color wheel, if you are having the colors close to each other, for example this blue and blue-green, or you have this red and orange, so these colors are called as harmony. When colors close to each other in the color wheel. In the color wheel, when the colors close to each other are used, then it is called as harmony. So next let us see what is contrast. Contrast is created when colors far apart on the color wheel are used together. So not nearby colors, the colors which is really far away from it, like for example red and green, or blue and orange, blue and yellow, purple and yellow. So all these is called as contrast. So contrast is vibrant, eye-catching, bold and exciting. Example, you can say it is blue and orange. So next, let's see what are warm colors. So these colors, that is red, orange and yellow, they are called as warm colors because it will give a sense of heat and warmth. They are also known as advancing colors as they appear closer to the view than other colors. So what are warm colors called as? They are called as advancing colors. Why? Because they appear closer to the viewers when compared to other colors. So next coming for cool colors. Blue, green and violet are called as cool colors. It gives a feeling of being cold and they are also known as receding colors. Why? Because they appear more distant and further away. Our next topic is color schemes. There are two different color schemes used in various applications. One is RGB, which stands for red, green, blue, and the other one is CMYK, cyan, magenta, yellow, black. So let's see what is the difference between RGB color scheme and CMYK color scheme. So RGB is an additive color model. Here red, green and blue lights are combined to produce a wide range of colors. Whereas CMYK, it is a subtractive color model. Here cyan, magenta and yellow inks observe certain wavelengths of light to produce colors. Your RGB is commonly used in digital display such as monitors, television and mobile devices. CMYK is commonly used in printing processes such as offset printing, screen printing and inkjet printing. In RGB, colors are created by adding different intensities of red, green and blue light. In CMYK, colors are created by combining different amount of cyan, magenta and yellow inks with black ink added to deepen the colors. The color scheme used in screen is RGB and the color scheme used in printer is CMYK. Why is the color scheme used in screen is different from the color scheme used in printers? This is because the background color of screen and printing paper are different. The background color of screen is black and the background color of printing paper is white. In monitor, we use the color scheme RGB. By adding these colors, we can create any color we want. The inside of the screen is actually coated with material called phosphor, which emits light when a beam of electrons strike it. There are three types of phosphor that is used in the screen. One is red light emitting phosphorus, green light emitting phosphorus, and blue light emitting phosphorus. So as we know, black means no color. And in order to create colored image on black screen, you must add colors to the screen. Thus, we need additive color scheme for a screen. Example, to display yellow on screen, we simply add red and green on screen. When we add red and green, we get yellow. So RGB is an additive color scheme, and that's why it is being chosen for screen. White is actually sum of all colors. In order to create colored image on white paper, you must remove unwanted colors. Thus, we need a subtractive color scheme for printers. Means RGB scheme will not work here as it is an additive color model. In printer, the color scheme CMYK is used and it is subtractive one. This scheme is also called as CMY because only three colors are sufficient to print any colored image on white paper. So in order to create black, simply add these three colors and black is produced. That is, whenever you add cyan, magenta and yellow, we get black. But the resultant color is not perfect black, it will be muddy black. That's the reason why the color printer consists of 4 cartridges. Actually, we said 3 is enough to produce any color. That is, cyan, magenta and yellow is sufficient to produce any color on white paper. But why do we need black ink in your color printer? The main reason is when you add cyan, magenta and yellow, we get a muddy black, not a perfect black. That is one reason. The other reason, the color inks are very costly than black ink, and use of all these 3 colors to produce black is not viable. When yellow is printed on white paper, it absorbs blue and scatters red and green. When magenta is printed on white paper, it absorbs green and scatters blue and red. When cyan is printed on paper, it absorbs red and scatters blue and green. This is how subtractive color scheme works. Yellow is minus blue, cyan is minus red, magenta is minus green. In order to print red, we require to print yellow and magenta. So to create illusion of red, we need to print fine dots of yellow and magenta with some spacing between them. So next, let's see what is color separation. Color separation is a process of separating a full color image into individual colors, and this is mainly used for printing purpose. So the act of decomposing a color graphic or photo into single color layers is called as color separation. For example, to print full color photos with an offset printing press, one must first separate the photo into 4 basic ink colors: cyan, magenta, yellow and black. Each single color layer is then printed separately, one on top of the other, to give the impression of infinite colors. Actually, there are 2 types of color separation. One is CMYK separation, which is also called as process color separation. The other one is spot color separation. So let's see what is the difference between process color separation and spot color separation. So in process color separation, it involves separating an image into 4 process colors. That is cyan, magenta, yellow and black. in spot color separation involves creating separate plates for specific colors, such as Pantone colors that are not part of CMYK process. The combination of these 4 colors in different proportions creates a wide range of colors in process color separation. In spot color separation are often used to create custom colors, logos or branding elements that require precise color matching. The process color separation is widely used in various printing applications including offset printing, digital printing and screen printing. And spot color separation is commonly used in applications where color accuracy and consistency are critical, such as in branding, packaging and marketing materials.
That's all for today's session. Thank you for watching this video. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up and make sure you share it with your friends. See you in my next video. Until then, take care and keep smiling.